call is being recorded.
Thank you for your patience. All right, so please don't hesitate to interrupt if you have any questions that you want to ask at all whatsoever. That's totally fine. And yeah, sweet. So with that being said, I'm actually glad to see here that you are a double Capricorn.
Yes.
With your rising in Scorpio. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that is quite remarkable. And we see you're born in 81, so that's also very powerful too. Normally I'll share an alien construct article, but the alien construct article I have doesn't yet have Jupiter as a part of it. But regardless, we know you were born with your rising in Scorpio, which gives you the title of Pure Queen, making you Pure Queen Ondreyah, which is amazing.
Yay.
Yeah, this concept really blew my mind and changed the way that I thought about titles, ranks, and also royalty. I used to scoff at royalty and think that, it was just something that people kind of made up. But then I realized there's astrological precedent to this and how the fixed signs in the zodiac actually represent royalty. So Taurus will be natural royalty, Leo would be, solar royalty, and then Scorpio would be pure royalty, in that you at Scorpio have a social personality. And I like this one because this is the one rising sign where if anyone messes with you, you merely need just give them a death stare and they'll kind of just get right,
Yep.
But right. And then we see you have Pluto and Saturn in the 12th house, which is incredible. Like that's another level of legendary, dealing with hidden enemies that can induce paranoia. But it's not that you're paranoid, it's just that you're super legendary and important. So I'm going to talk about that because that is one of the most complex dynamics you can have. And 81 is interesting because this is where we saw the triple conjunction. After Jupiter left that, party in Libra, we saw this come back again 2020 with all four in Capricorn in your sign. So you're one of the few people who really understood what was happening 2020 and how that broke you through from, inhibited beliefs around how you operate in relationships versus breaking through how much more seriously you express your ideas about the collective relative to what you understand about the social environment, which is your social karma as a Pluto Libra and Pluto Saturn in its exaltation here. I'm sorry, Libra Saturn in its exaltation there. You have the social karma as a collective goddess, the director Capricorn, which is the collective or the God level earth sign. You have the social karma to set society straight and balanced. This gives you such an extreme passion for justice and a hatred for, unfairness. And so you're very serious when it comes to maintaining order and exposing corruption and unfairness in relationships. So as a Scorpio rising, please correct me if I'm wrong, but would you say that you're hyper aware of hidden aspects of unfairness and imbalance in relationships?
Yep. Accurate.
Okay, I'm actually really,
What?
my bad, you kind of broke up a little bit.
Oh, I just said 100%, and because of that, it limits my relationships a lot because a lot of people don't appreciate it.
Oh my God, I have chills. Like, I'm so glad you said it that way, because it's hard to kind of speak on this, but you're helping me understand this more because you also have Chiron in the 7th house. So like relationship lessons are filled with vulnerability and just effortlessly triggering the crap out of other people if their ego gets in the way of, how you're grounding values. So the 12th house Saturn and Pluto and then Chiron in the seventh will actually make it impossible to be in a relationship with someone who is not pure or full of shit or full of crap rather.
Right.
Um, right, which is amazing. It was very incredible because you being born on a new moon in Capricorn is a gift of integrity. You gift people, whoever you're around, the gift of integrity and activating a much more practical, powerful element of their attitude. And you actually direct the nature of how people think collectively, which is cool because you were born on the lunar eclipse with the South Node. So you literally, and this is so deeply significant. I mean, I just appreciate every chart I read, but there's just certain charts that stick out because of the placements and degrees, and this is definitely one of them. I mean, for you to be born on a South Node eclipse, oh my God, like you literally came into this reality with all that mastery and power of Capricornian integrity, so that you can create a new way of life, a religion based on sincerity, philosophy, sincere philosophies that take this more grounded, organized, detached approach to forming your attitude and using that as the basis to show others how you express these attitudes and ideas sincerely. Hence, the challenge as a Capricorn with this is to seamlessly share how much more powerfully you can feel into how you seriously you think or how incredibly you think. I actually used to work with a woman who had this aspect. She was just an Aries rising with this, and she had a 10th house Capricorn sun with the South Node, and her fourth house was Cancer. So what that looked like was, and it was so fascinating to me because normally it's the traditionally, right, in gender roles, you see the mother that stays at home and takes care of the kids. But this was the opposite. Like she was a casting director before she started working with astrologers like me, and she even worked on a set of X-Men. But what was a challenge for her was taking care of the kids at home and doing more domestic duties. And I was like,
Mhm.
right. That's so North Node Cancer. Now we see this is in your ninth. So
Mhm.
I want to ask, how does that resonate with you? I don't think it's going to be more on the fourth house based on like domestic duties versus this being more philosoph. The challenge for you is how philosophically can you share your beliefs, maybe without them being, undermined or twisted with the square, or really, standing with that sincere philosophy.
Um, I would say how it really manifests for me is that I just do my thing, live my truth, speak my truth, and I am not it's not possible to not do that. And so the result is that a lot of people I'm very you hate me or you love, you know, and I do have a big influence with the people that are around and the people that enjoy my company. But yeah, and it is hard because um yeah, I can't really give the attention that I want to my home life, which I've always wanted, but now because I can't seem to hold a partner at all. Um, it's like all fall into me. And so it is a real struggle to, deal with children and all of that. And also deal with, what I feel I'm called to do on this earth, which is quite massive. And
Right. Yeah.
domestic ties,
Does
with children, but they're awesome and they're fans of you. So there's that.
Oh, I'm very honored.
Yeah.
And I had a reading yesterday with another Scorpio rising woman who I think was born much younger. And what I appreciate about both of you is that both of you kind of have difficulties, especially if you think about the eclipse that's on your seventh house of relationships. It's manifesting this healing of unconventionality in relationships that will now start to repair and heal archetypes that and of people and situations that can match with you. That's really the gift of this eclipse. But both of what both of you mentioned was that it's very difficult for you to get in relationships. And what she asked me was like, why is it hard for her to get a man and keep a man? But what I'll say for both of you is it's not hard at all. The issue, of course, with it's not hard at all for any of you to get anybody. It's just the standards that both of you have make it so that because you're such a rare personality, it's gonna be hard to find someone on your level. I'm gonna just be real. It's especially because she was a Scorpio sun and then you're a Capricorn sun too. So like it's incredibly difficult. There's a power and an allure that that you have that will attract us, but it could be it could be incredibly difficult to find someone on your level. Let me just be real. But at the same time, that rareness makes the quality of who you attract that much more secure. There's just all this difficulty in between, specifically with the Scorpio rising archetype, because especially with how pure and intense it is, it attracts it's really easy for y'all to attract very obsessed creepers and weirdos. And a lot of that is due to just the intensity of how alluring the vibe is, and also because we don't live in a perfect world. So I think it's easier for y'all to see into that, especially because of how intense you represent with wisdom. So thankfully, it's very key that you're highlighting relationship difficulty, because that's the lesson for you with this eclipse. So it's a telltale sign that you're going to be clearing it as Chiron returns over the next decade. And I mean, Uranus is over your Chiron, which, if we talk about Chiron, Chiron in Taurus is your natural healing ability, your innate natural healing ability. That trine Capricorn is pretty powerful, incredibly powerful, because if you think that Taurus is an element of physical strength, then Capricorn trining it is the supernatural power or the almighty power behind this physical strength individually that you manifest towards other people. So you have natural healing ability that in the seventh house could represent wounds that you've gained from other people, especially with Eros. So please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm really interested to see how this plays out for you. Eros on the seventh house could be very tricky, especially as a Scorpio rising, because it could be very difficult to convince people that you have no interest in them, because they're going to feel like you're hitting on them. They're going to feel like you want them in some capacity. And this could be I've noticed women with contacts like this, it could and then with Lilith too and Sagittarius can complicate things. And then even if it's platonically too, and this doesn't have to be too much of an issue. And then outside of that, with Chiron, you could have come into most of your wounds from other people and relationships with other people undervaluing your value or worth, or maybe even trying to manipulate you to because they're jealous or can't really access what you have, so they try and like worship you at first and then humiliate you so that they can control you.
Yeah, that's very much how it's been. So I'm extremely empathic. So I really, really care and love it pretty much anybody I come in contact with, and I really am able to feel their energy and their pain and their whatever it is they're going through. And no, nobody can tell a lie. Nobody can lie to me. It's impossible. And so because of that, I attract, of course, narcissists. And it's that same old dynamic of like, the empath and the narcissist. And I had a narcissist father and I was just kind of born into that. So and it's hard. And I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm ever gonna break that cycle in my life, because I always have love for these individuals, like in any capacity, friends, whatever. Like, I feel a lot of, like, just like, well, maybe I can help them, maybe if they just see, then maybe they will, uh, you know, come to a realization. And it results in a lot of pain.
And that's really amazing, because it's almost as if like in a sense, you transmute that as a collective, representative. And I don't want to be cliche and be like you're healing that for the collective, but a lot of what I almost want to maintain that, since, like, especially at the Capricornian end, the last four zodiac signs are collective. So it's like, unlike maybe everyone else in the zodiac that is coming in to learn lessons, right? I feel like at this end, you're more like a TA becoming, the ascended master, and graduating to really lead humanity. And the difficult road up the mountain is having to deal with, this sense of people or just influences, right? So it's really telling about how you kind of broke that down. Especially seeing how your Capricorn trines the Chiron. So you have the ability to ground others and to apply this natural healing, which is amazing that you mentioned you have this sense of empathy. And thank you for confirming you can also feel people's physical pain with the and I'm gonna go ahead and say that might be attributed to the earth element that now aligns the sensing of this to influence your nervous system physically. And this is interesting because Uranus, that's going over here now, is putting you in a unique position where your healing ability is going to be linked to your creative talents. And I mean, by November, you're going to be more controversial than you've ever been, because people are not going to be able to wrap their mind around how your presence and your active decision to just apply healing energy is healing them super noticeably of things that even medicine couldn't heal them from. And at one level, there's the concept of energy healing, which is a real thing. And I mean, you live, but then there's another thing, which is how supernaturally powerful your healing is. And you're at that stage where it's upgrading to the sense and level where it has like life changing results on people, which is amazing because since birth, you've always had this like this, but there's now a next level that's raising up here. And have you noticed that? Does that also resonate with you too? Hello? Oh, wow. Oh, there we go. Hmm. That's interesting. Looks like maybe it sounds like a Mercury retrograde thing. Um, if I can't hear you, but if there's issues, you can call back in with the number. That is interesting. Yeah, I can believe it. Uranus having. Hello?
Hello? Hello?
I can hear you.
Hello?
Can you
Hello?
hear me? Can you hear me? Hello?
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 You can hear me.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, I cannot hear you.
Oh, yeah. Okay. This is Mercury retrograde at its finest. That's so interesting. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Wow, that
Yeah,
was
that
really interesting. I
no.
missed a big chunk of what you said too.
Okay, and see, I have chills again because this one instance that's happened in my 10 years of reading tarot, I'm sorry, astrology, has happened recurringly every single time. And I'm glad you witnessed this during a Mercury retrograde. Every time I say some substantive, thankfully this is recorded, so you'll be able to hear when I send you the recording. Every time I like incorporate or mention the planet Uranus or any type of like supernatural dynamics, there's always some weird interference like this. And it always happens when I do readings with Scorpio or Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. It's the
Oh
weirdest
wow.
thing. It is the weirdest thing. So, like, even the fact that like, that was so interesting that you just couldn't like hear me all of a sudden. And so, that's actually an aspect of interference in your chart with the Chiron aspect with Uranus that can glitch technology, which I don't know. I'm learning. I'm wondering if this is like a protection mechanism. Maybe like there's just certain things that aren't meant to be said, or if it's just interference trying to get in the way of you kind of receiving insight. So it's something to keep in mind. I think this is really just more a Mercury retrograde thing, but yeah, like this, it always fascinates me every time this happens. But what I was saying was basically, um, you are stepping into the next phase of your life where your entire life you've always had miraculous natural healing ability directly applied towards other people and healing the values that they stand on and also shifting physical energy just with your presence. Now that Uranus is going through here, preparing for Uranian opposition in the next few years, like by like 2027, you're reaching a very pivotal period where, mind you, and the third house, you have incredible abilities. And you confirm that you can have this sense of physical empathy where you can feel other people's pain physically because it attaches to your nervous system physiologically. So, like with Uranus and the eclipse that we've gone through by November, you'll be able to, like, people will struggle to wrap their mind around why just being around you or you actively healing them has produced supernatural effects that medicine couldn't. So like the principle of,
Mm.
right, the principle of healing anyone can do and is a real thing energetically, but then there's you who applies this supernatural power to healing where people are being healed from things that they couldn't even get healed from the doctor. And this is going to be a controversial sense of what you're getting ready to step into, which will really shift how people look at you. And I just want to be careful with how I say this because even before this, you've already had miraculous healing ability. This is just going to be taken yet to the next level. I want to make sure that resonates with you.
Yes, it absolutely does. Um, for the for a long time, I used um, like magic to do things, and everything that I want to do, I do. So it's the craziest shit. Like it's so amazing because it's like I don't have to do anything now. I just have to think of something. I want something. I want this to happen, and it happens. And it's
God,
mind blowing, and I
I have
love it.
chills. I have chills. I have chills.
Yeah,
Thank you so
yeah,
much for
and
doing that. You confirmed something so important for me, and I needed to hear
yeah.
this. That is just amazing, especially being that Capricorn is like the greatest of all time, the GOAT. So for you to have this level of power, like even everything you just said about thinking about something and it happens, is the third house Capricorn skill, of mentifery, because Mercury is your brain's ability to process what your moon and sun are feeling and activating. The moon and sun is like literally God power, and then you're drawing that from the out. No, but as a Scorpio rising, you have the opposite complete version of what I have, because I've done a version of this, but at the base lower level. I'm a Taurus rising, natural royalty, individual. Gemini is my second house, individual, right? The second house is how
Mhm.
you manifest. It's how you make money. So contemplate that you paid me money so that we can talk one on one, because Gemini is
Mhm.
individual. And so what is it? Communication. and I'm communicating you and I'm manifesting truth. So whenever I decide to think certain things or manifest, they start to happen, but I haven't yet reached your level yet. I'm slowly but surely getting there. So you have Scorpio rising, which is a social personality representative of wisdom, and you manifest Sagittarius, whereas I manifest Gemini. Sagittarius is a God level, it's ascended. So you manifest ascended value. And with Neptune and Uranus here, it's supercharged. The way you manifest ascended magic and light is so supernatural that Uranus rules Aquarius of the mind, the higher causal faculty, and Neptune rules Pisces of the imagination in the astral realm. So literally everything that you think, imagine, and visualize manifests. And you just confirm
Mhm.
that, which is entirely mind blowing and really hopeful to let me know it's more than possible too. Because that's really the shift I wanted to do too. Like I want to live a magic based life, and I'm getting there, you know what I mean? But it makes sense that you at the advanced level are living this. And this is the North Node Cancer destiny that you're meant to teach people, that they can live a life around their own power and magic if they're sincere. And this is where that square to Saturn and Pluto could be hidden influences, hidden enemies, and outside forces that seek to, undermine you by inhibiting your ideas. This represents a sense of protection and defense spiritually too from hidden enemies, from people who talk about your behind your back. Socially, you have Mars here, so the way you take action is quite altruistic and balanced. But regardless, like this is just so amazing, and your MC is in Leo, so your legacy is to inspire people by being on stage in the spotlight. It's just I noticed that with Scorpio rising and as a Capricorn, maybe you don't like the spotlight, because I know that some of you like to be behind the scenes, but I see you have Venus in Aquarius. So either way, thank you so much for saying that. That was remarkable.
Absolutely. And yes, I do like to be behind the scenes. I would prefer to be like the Wizard of Oz,
Nice.
a person behind the curtain.
That's awesome. Just keep in mind though, with the MC and Leo, your legacy is to be on stage. So like there will be
Oh,
moments where, because there's just certain, we need to be inspired by you, even if it's
mhm.
you like producing sets and stuff like that. But either way, that I'm gonna send you this recording. Please feel free to keep in touch. Shoot an email if you have any questions. I'll include a discount code if you ever want to order again. Neptune is squaring your Neptune, so this is going to add more creativity into how you use magic to manifest your life, and
Great to know.
deepen, right, the level of imagination required to really make even more nonlinear this process. But other
Awesome.
than that, and I'm glad you highlighted the mind-blowing potential of this, because this will really go into how other people are mind blown and how miraculously you help heal them, or shift their perspective or direct their attitude. Anyway, all power to you, and you stay blessed as always.
Thanks, Mike. You too. It was great to talk to you.
Likewise, I'm gonna you'll get an email from eTransfer, and yeah, you'll be able to download the recording there.
Awesome.
All right, you stay blessed.
You too. Bye.
Peace.